How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Tales from the Darkside. This is Season 2, Episode 10, and this one's entitled Ursa Minor. This is from December 1st, 1985, and is directed by series regular Ted Gershuny. This episode stars Marilyn Jones, Tim Carhart, Jamie Ohar, and Malachy McCourt. The teleplay for this episode was written by the director, Ted Gershuny, based on a story by John Sladek. In this episode, a little girl gets a teddy bear for her birthday. The teddy bear is given to her by her drunken father, who doesn't really remember doing this. However, the girl's happy and it quickly becomes her favorite toy. However, a bunch of mischief starts to happen around the house. Things get knocked over or broken, paw prints all over the walls. Little bits of mischief are happening, and the parents go to the daughter and say, "Why are you doing this?" And she responds with the classic line, "I didn't do it, Teddy did it." She's blaming the doll, and if we know our horror stories, it might just be the little teddy bear that's doing it. Now, I will say, going into this episode, I didn't read the episode description, and most of these episodes are new to me. I didn't read the description because a lot of times anthology show descriptions just for whatever reason decide to spoil everything, so I tend to steer clear of those, and I went into this episode not really knowing much, and it was a nice, real pleasant surprise to find out this was a haunted toy episode. You gotta love those things. I thought it would be one of those sci-fi episodes based on the title, and this season of Darkside is a little bit sci-fi heavy so far, but a pleasant haunted toy surprise episode, and also a teddy bear. You know, so many times you get dolls when it's haunted toys, and it's really good to see a haunted teddy bear. That's just, you know, really fun and a little bit different. So, major props for that. In regards to the episode, it's very classic, you know. It does all the classic haunted toy tropes. The kid gets it, the kid falls in love with it. Things start to happen around the house, you blame the kid, and the kid says, "No, it's the toy," and then the parents will learn their lesson that they should probably listen to the kid a little harder. So yeah, a very classic episode. Now, this is Darkside, made for TV in the 80s budget, so don't expect like an animatronic teddy bear. A lot of it you see the aftermath of. You don't get to see too much of Teddy going crazy. There is a little bit of special effects work towards the end, so you know, there is something, and you do get the teddy bear's eyes will like light up and turn red. That's always really fun, but don't expect, you know, crazy animatronics. This isn't a Tom Savini episode. If it was, he could have pulled something out of thin air. That's just what he does. But that being said, for a made-for-TV episode from the 80s, enough happens. It's still really cool. But yeah, I find that this is a case of, you know, you don't have to really reinvent the wheel, you know. A haunted toy is something we like. You're hitting all the tropes. You're doing a good episode. You know, it's standard, but it's highly enjoyable, and I really did like that. However, at the end, and I won't spoil it, there is a bit of a twist. You find out why exactly the bear is haunted, and it does go in a sort of unexpected way, and I did like the explanation, and I did like the change at the end. So yeah, for the most part, it's a standard but very fun haunted toy episode, but then there's enough twist at the end to make it unique, to say we did something different, and to have a memorable ending. You know, lots of Darkside episodes, really memorable endings, and this is a pretty fun ending as well. So, not the biggest and best episode ever, but still, it's just really fun, and I gotta like it for that, you know? And hey, who doesn't love a haunted teddy bear, right? Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and analyze the plot a little bit more. I'm not going to be doing any major spoilers, so I'll be avoiding the end. or at least what specifically happens. But I'm going to talk about the story in more detail now. But yeah, no major spoilers. Anyway, we open up with the dad. He's asleep in bed, and the wife is trying to wake him up. He's very tired, and you can tell he just wants to stay in bed. A very relatable opening. Boy, yeah, so many days don't you want to just stay in bed. But it turns out the reason why he's sleepy is because he had drunken a lot the night before. He has a bit of a drinking problem, and turns out he's very hungover. The wife gives him some medicine. He drinks some, I think it's orange juice, and, it starts to wake up a little bit. And he says, "What day is it?" And it turns out it's his daughter's birthday. And he goes, "Oh no, I forgot to get her something." And the wife goes, "What do you mean? You don't remember that? You got her something. You got her a toy, and she loves it." And it turns out she has this little stuffed teddy bear, and the daughter's absolutely in love with it, and she's just really happy with her new toy. So it looks like the dad managed to squeak out a win there, and he doesn't remember getting this toy for her, but the daughter's having a great time, and all in all, success, right? And for a while, things seem to be going okay. The girl's having fun. They're reading Goldilocks and the Three Bears, a very thematically appropriate story. But slowly over time, mischief will happen. The first time you see something, there's this vase that gets knocked over, and she says, "I didn't do it, Teddy did it." And they're like, "No, even if he was alive, his little hands are too small. It would be very hard for him." But she insists Teddy did it. Later on, you'll see paw prints going up the wall, and she says, "I didn't do that, Teddy did it. He put his paws on the wall," which of course they don't believe as well either, and the wife starts to think, my daughter is thinking she can get away with stuff, she's maybe disassociating, this isn't good, and she kind of wants the husband to help out, but he doesn't really know what to do. He tries to explain the difference, shows her a bear rug, a bearskin rug, and says, see, this is a real teddy bear, But she doesn't quite get it, and she insists on seeing things her way. And after that, we do get, when things start to pick up, we get a pretty cool sequence where it's late at night. She's checking on her daughter. She picks up the teddy bear. Its eyes flash red for just a second, and she hears a growling sound coming from somewhere in the distance. A pretty fun scene. There's actually a few night scenes in here, and the night scenes are done really, really well. It's this nice, relatable little house there, and all the lights are turned off. There's, a little bit of moonlight spilling in from the windows, and you're walking around this dark house. I really do love the effective night scenes in this house. But I should mention also, relatable little house, relatable little family. It really it helps you get into the story, and I do like that setup there as well. So that's all cool. But then eventually we get the jigsaw scene, not James Wan jigsaw, but an actual tool. You see, the husband owns an antique shop, and he refurbishes antiques and sells them, and that's how they're making their money. And we get the wife talking, and she says why he's, working on a piece of wood. The wife is saying she's doing all this stuff. She thinks she can just blame Teddy. And we get kind of a fast forward, This is Darkside. It's a TV amount of time, a TV budget. We can't show Teddy doing all these different things. But the wife will talk about how she, had to look for her car keys for a while, because the daughter hid them and said Teddy did it, and she eventually found them, but she was really late because she had to look, And it is kind of a fast forward, but, it's effective, right? And she doesn't know what to do. She's trying to get her husband to help her, and we also get a sense of their, financial situation. She's going to school. I think she's getting a master's or something in social work, and they're kind of hoping that if they can hang on, the husband's going to try to work, that eventually when she gets through, she'll be able to support the family a lot more. And now I do want to say, though, if the husband does own the antique shop, like if he doesn't just work at it, if he owns it, you know, the first couple years, like the first 2 years or so of a business's life is going to be hard. But if he can get through that, I mean, there's a good chance the husband's business could take off. And, you know, yeah, it's a sucky situation now, but if that antique shop takes off, they might be sitting pretty in a few years. I don't know. But, you know, she's talking. She wants more engagement out of the husband, and the husband doesn't really know what to do. And I do like how they portray the husband. You know, he's immature, he drinks too much, but they don't make him just cartoonishly evil. They don't make him an overt, you know, like they always show those drunks with the bottles and cans all over the floor. They don't go that far, but you can tell he's someone that just isn't quite growing up to the point where he needs to be, and he really does like his, you know, kind of party life now, and I do feel that that's a good way of showing it without going way too far off to the extremes. He has a problem, but he's really not a bad guy, you know? But anyway, after they talk for a bit, he slips with the jigsaw and cuts his leg a little bit. Not too bad, but not insignificant either. He cuts his leg, and the wife says, "Richard, what did you do?" That whole, "what did you do?" I don't know. But he says, "Oh, I didn't do anything. Teddy did it." And that is sort of an interesting thing. He actually said this earlier in the episode when he fell asleep with a cigarette. "Oh, I didn't do it. Teddy did it." And I feel there is a fair bit to analyze here. The dad is quoting what the kid's saying, and they're both acts of misbehavior the wife doesn't like. You see, the dad drinks, and the wife doesn't like it, and when he's supposedly in this drunken state, he gives the kid a bear, and with the bear, the kid starts to misbehave, the wife doesn't like it, and it's because of the bear, you know? So it's sort of, you can see the bear as a metaphor for a trait that one of the parents has that the other doesn't like and is being passed down to the next generation, and the wife is having trouble with it, you know? So the teddy bear, I think, really does metaphorically represent the dad handing down his irresponsible ways, but we all know that that's a metaphor, and in reality we do have an evil teddy bear, so it is kind of an extra layer of substance there. But anyway, things get creepier, things get darker. The wife will eventually, of course, turn to an expert, and we get kind of an explanation scene. Now, I do like the explanation they come up with, in particular finding out why this episode's called Ursa Minor is pretty interesting. And I do find it's interesting, it's a different direction, it really does say something. But that being said, this guy, he kind of just shows up, goes, "Oh, it's probably this," and then he gets out of there. Like, he doesn't give him like a special ritual to stop the teddy bear. He doesn't stick around and help. He just goes, "It's probably cursed for this reason. Okay, bye." And I thought that was kind of funny. But we do get the finale, and I do like the finale. It gets bigger and over the top and different than you think, with a pretty cool reveal. Now, I won't spoil it, obviously, but I will say it kind of is building to this big moment, and when it gets there, the episode's over. And this is one of those episodes that I'm like, I wish we could have gone on for 5 minutes. You know, it's a good reveal, and the episode's just building to that, but I'm like, I wish we didn't have to stop there. I wish we just had a little more time. I wish we could have seen this out in a big, epic finale, but it's about getting to the reveal. And also, the dad doesn't serve as much in the ending as I feel he should have. The dad was a really big part of the episode before, but he's not really in the end part too much, which does kind of suck as well. But all that being said, still a different and a big finale, and definitely worth checking out. So overall, it's a classic haunted toy episode. Hits all the tropes, does some really cool night sequences, and then when it gets to the end, it's a little bit of a twist, a little bit of a new flavor, and a different idea. So overall, it's not the biggest and best episode ever, but it's a lot of fun, and I definitely would recommend it. Haunted teddy bears, great stuff, you know? Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Tales from the Darkside playlist. And in this playlist, I've talked about all the past episodes. I did the Christmas episodes early, I did the Joe Hill comic, and I did an overview for Season 1. So there's actually quite a lot of videos in this playlist. So if you want to see me talk about more Darkside, the Darkside playlist should pop up here. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.